Hello, hello. I have missed you all so much. Welcome to this episode of the Multidimensional Baddie Podcast. I am your host, Elena Rose Dumaine, and today we're going to be talking about how everyone is so fucking terrified of being way too much, which is kind of odd because just a few years ago, didn't everybody feel like they weren't enough? Let's get into it. Intro, you guys. I was riffed. I just improv'd all of that. What's up, everybody? I've missed you. I haven't been feeling too well, I'm going to be honest. A lot of people don't know this, but I have a heart condition that goes into remission and then comes out of remission really randomly. It's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS as it's more commonly known. And I got it when I was 9. I got the chicken pox and it turned into a viral infection and settled in my heart, was what the doctors told my parents. And me, I was like sitting there like, I'm here, like, I understand big words. I read it like a college level in the 3rd or 4th grade. So, fun things. Books were very important in our household. So from the chicken pox, I ended up getting POTS at the age of 9. And then that actually ended up leading to me being homeschooled for 3 years because I couldn't sit up long enough to go to school. And then it went into remission. I went back to school from the grades of like 8 through graduation. And then I had like another flare when I was a sophomore in college. Luckily, it was right at the end of the school year, so I kind of just hung out for the first few weeks of summer, and then it went back into remission. And then I had my last flare was actually in 2016, which was the last 9 year. And then 2025 is a 9 year. So that's very interesting. But I had a flare not too long after I started my last Muggle job. I had a really bad flare. Ended up, just there's all kinds of protocols and things that I do. And then it goes back into not bothering me. And I actually forgot I had it this time. I had completely forgotten about it. Luckily, about a year ago, I had really randomly mentioned it to Michael because they told me when I was like 9, I can't really remember what it was, but they said that if I ever had like an ambulance called on, or anything, that I needed to... can we plug this in just so we make sure it doesn't... we're at 85%. Let's just plug it in anyways. Basically, they said like there was something like that paramedics might accidentally give me if they didn't know that I had it that could cause some issues. And I realized like really randomly, like a year and a half ago, I hadn't told Michael about that. So just in case anything ever happened, I wanted him to know to say that to the paramedics so they wouldn't do whatever the thing is the doctors warned us about when I was 9. And so, yeah, I started like a few weeks ago, I started really randomly, I was like, I need to sleep 10 hours a night. That I was just feeling really tired. I was very fatigued. I was like, I need to sleep 10 hours a night. And then I was like, I need chicken broth. And those are like the first 10 hours sleep of night and high sodium diet with we did lots of chicken broth. Those are like the first 2 points in the protocols that we developed to manage it when I was much younger. So it was so funny. It's like the cell memory really will kick in there. And it's like, I was like, I knew what to do, but I didn't know what was going on. And then sure enough, I started getting really fatigued. I was just having kind of dizzy spells. And then Michael was like, do you think it's your POTS? And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh shit. And I started crying and it was funny. And I was like, oh my God, that is what it is. And it was a very traumatic time. We had to go to a lot of doctors and there was a lot of tests. And it was, I was literally, I was in the second or third grade. I was in the third grade when I got the chicken pox. And then it took I was sick for years. And then finally, when I was 12, I was able to go back to school. But it was just it was not a fun time. And every time I've had a flare has not been a fun time. And I had a really rough time with the doctors and stuff because they didn't believe that there was anything wrong with me, even though my heart rate would literally be going off the charts. And it was oh yes, I can control that. It was just crazy. So anyways, it's been a crazy last few weeks. It brought up a lot of memories of all that stuff. And I got to kind of revisit that stuff and transmute it and shift it. And so that was really good and that was fun. But I'm feeling.
Sorry, we even learned about COVID.
Yeah, and then we also did some Googling. I was doing some Googling about just kind of a little refresher course, and the internet says that people who've had COVID are now exhibiting POTS symptoms. So that explains why after we had COVID, Michael started having, I was literally he would stand up and it was his heart rate would accelerate and he'd get dizzy. He would literally black out. And I was like, he's literally having the symptoms I had when I was 10 and had POTS. And but I was like, he doesn't have POTS. It didn't make any sense. Well, he's had COVID 4 times. So that's fun. Anyways, let's hit the bong about it. It's so, and it also I've been having major anxiety because it's I've been reliving a lot of the anxiety that I felt when I was literally 9 years old and they didn't know what was wrong with me, and then if you don't know, I also had a car wreck when I was 18, which triggered fibromyalgia. And I spent 7 months in doctor hell then going to 9 different doctors over the course of 7 months trying to figure out what was wrong with me, why I was in so much pain, and being called a liar by all these doctors and told that there was nothing wrong with me. And I was just trying to get out of going to college, which I had worked my ass off to get into. And I was also, for that 7 months of medical hell, I was also simultaneously living with my very narcissistically abusive birth giver back in the town that was haunted as fuck. And I hated that I had just escaped and gone to college. So it was trauma on trauma on trauma. It was a whole ass rough time. It was I've been having a lot of anxiety too of just feeling those old feelings. And then now recognizing oh, this is just stuff that's been stored. From literally the age of going back as far as when I was 9 years old. And so just lots of processing and all of that fun stuff. In this processing experience. Oh, let's have our inaugural bong hit. We're back on the podcast, and I'm only going to get more ridiculous from here on out. I went viral, you guys. For the stupidest thing, okay? For the stupidest thing. It was funny, but don't try to talk mid King Louis the 13th hit.
Is that from last night?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's grapefruit and Northern Lights.
Oh, that's why it tastes like grapefruit. Cool. Woo. What's that saying?
Never take a sip. Never try to talk.
Never try to talk. Oh yeah, I went viral.
Went viral.
2.1 million views on this one video, and then 2.2 million views total to my Instagram over the last 30 days. So that's fun. And it was a total just fuck off video of the TV and the intro to the Queen of the Damned. And I was like, girls be like, I need my comfort movie. And then it's literally, and then it was the intro to the Queen of the Damned. And I literally, it's so funny. I almost deleted it. I posted it at 11 p.m. when you're not supposed to post, right? This thing should not have popped off. It's just funny little content. So of course, 2.1 million views later, a year, 175 days and some change of hours and whatever minutes that people have spent watching this. It's just stupid. Did absolutely nothing for the business. Just full transparency and disclosure. I did get like 240 followers from it though, so that was fun. Whatever. I'm preparing for a mass unfollowing of the account though from those 240 people and probably a lot of other people because of what we're working on for coming up for December into January. We've got a very fabulous, fun plan coming. I'm very excited. I've wanted to do this for years. And I was like, I'm doing it, so I should just do it for the people too. Like, that sounds fun. Like, this is what I want to do for the next 6 weeks. So I'm very excited. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what it is. We're going to be doing the annual planning party. And I have done my annual planning party every year since 2017. And it has generated a $25,000 to $50,000 revenue increase every year that I've done it. And the year that it was a $25,000 increase, that was what I refer to as a grow and maintain year. And that's really where you're just like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm vibing. I'm chilling. I just want to maintain here. Maybe grow a little just as a treat. You know what I mean? Just sprinkle a little extra on top. And that's a phase that is not talked about enough in business. Like, everybody really over glamorizes like constant extreme growth. And the truth is sometimes you just get to a point where you've got other things you want to focus on. You've got other, like I was that year that my grow and maintain year was 2021. And I was not focused on, like, financial increase was not the main focus of my reality that year. Manifesting Michael was. And guess what? Beginning of 2022, there he rolled in. Hey. You know what I mean? So it absolutely worked. And I still got to add 25,000 to my revenue that year from the year prior. So it was like, win-win, right? And it's just, I just really, something that's kind of really been popping up a lot for me lately is like everything just got so big. Everybody has just like, it's like the numbers have to be huge and the increases have to be huge. And it's just, sometimes I think it can feel, for well-rounded individuals who are interesting and enjoy a variety of pursuits, like sometimes the thing that's not actually at the forefront of your entire mind isn't making insane amounts more money in the next year. Sometimes it's about maintaining where you're at, growing a little bit, and just really letting yourself enjoy the fruits of what you have done. And, God forbid, I know, but like sometimes you have other things that you are really wanting to invest your time and energy into rather than just constant and continual grow, right? Sometimes you really just are more about maintaining rather than having to do a lot of new stuff. And I love those time periods. They're some of the most peaceful. They're fun. They're relaxed. They're really like never spoken about. And I think that that's, just dreadful. I think that's dreadful.
Yeah.
I think that it's funny because we're about to go into what I call, what is a scale? And I wrote it down. I have all of these fun little ways that I refer to things. But I'm very tired today, to be honest, because I planned this whole thing. Yeah, a scale time year. It's like, it's not grow. I didn't use grow twice in my categories. I'm better at writing than that. Yeah, so we're going into a scale year this year, which is the scale year comes after the chaos fields year. And we've just had a chaos fields year. And the chaos fields year is where you are just doing all the things. You're trying it all out. You're kind of, some people refer to it as throwing spaghetti at the wall. But let me tell you, you can throw spaghetti at the wall and have a 50K increase in revenue from year to year, just like we did. You know what I mean? Like, throwing spaghetti at the wall is not glamorized enough. Also, most of the actual real arcs and aspects of running a business, Harvest Rose turns 10 next year, by the way, you guys. 10! My baby's in the double digits! I'm so excited. Yeah, like when you've been in business longer than 5 minutes and actually consistently gone through all of these. Hi, baby. Mira needs a huggy right now. It's okay. Hi, I love you. When you've consistently gone through, all of these different aspects of a business and a brand and yourself as an entrepreneur and all of these different things, you just have a completely different concept than you do, a year or two or even 4 or 5 years in, right? Being almost 10 years in to this one business and brand and having devoted my entire life to it, right? It's a completely different ball game than when I was, 1 to 4 years in. It's just a completely different energy. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. I've done the annual planning party. Hi, baby. Oh, she's shoving at me. I love you. She aggressively needs to give me a kissy. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. So, I started my annual planning party in 2017. 2018 was really a chaos fields year for me. And 2019 was a scale year. Then I'd say 2020 was a pivot year that ended up going really well. And then 2021 was like a grow and maintain year. Then we went into the rebrand. We haven't had a bigger and better year, but we do have a bigger and better year category for people who are having a bigger and better year. 2022 or 2023 should have been the bigger or better year, but bullshit had other plans, and that's fine. No big deal. We'll get there again. It'll roll around again. The cycle will repeat. That's the great thing. It's like, that's the thing that I've noticed the most is that in business is built on cycles. Those cycles repeat monthly, quarterly, annually, and then they repeat throughout multi-year long processes. So it's quite fun. It's all about the cycles. And when you can learn to track the cycles and predict the cycles, it's not really so much about being psychic as it is about, I have extreme pattern recognition and I'm really good at math. So I can look at patterns. I can just pick up patterns and see how cycles are likely to predict themselves and things. And so then you get to actually start to really kind of surf the waves of business. It's quite fun. So, I did my first annual planning party in 2017. 2018 was my first 6-figure year. It was a $55,000 increase from the year before. And then 2018 was the first year that I did the annual planning party with my former assistant. And we would do it every year. And we would spend December kind of doing the planning, and then the beginning of January is when you really kind of hit the ground running, and then but it's just fabulous. And I'm going to be talking more about this later, but we're going to have it starts on 12/12. So I think we're supposed to open the sales page on Friday. That's what I keep getting. So yeah, that's coming. Super exciting. We're going to have a general admission version, and then we're also going to have a VIP version. And the VIP version, you're going to be part of a Telegram group, in addition to the general admission, which are you private space. And in VIP, you're going to tell me about your business, about your offers, about your brand, and I'm going to literally coach you in a mastermind environment for a month planning your 2026. It's going to be fucking awesome. And it is not for beginners, just so you know. It is not. If you don't have an offer that you're ready to go out and sell next year, it's not for you. If you don't have a business already, it's not for you. If you are still really kind of like, don't really know what you're doing, you have a business, you're not really sure, it's not for you. It is for you if you are ready to get traction and actually really go out and you have something that you are ready. Like, I have 8 different offers right now, as well as combos of those 8 different offers that I am ready to go out and sell and have people in and do the fucking thing, right? So that's why I'm doing a scale year. If you don't have a business yet, if you don't have offers, if you're not sure what to do, but you know you want to start doing something, we are going to have something coming for you. It's going to be a lower price point. It's going to be self-study. It's going to be created literally just exactly what I would do if I was starting a business from scratch in 2026. If I was spending my first year kind of figuring out what the fuck I was doing in my business in 2026, this is what I would say to me. And so we're going to have that coming later this month for you guys as well. It's all going to be pre-recorded. Go at your own pace. Hi, baby. I love you. And it's going to help you get some traction and trajectory for where you're going in your business and your brand if you're just starting out. But this is for people who are like, no, I'm ready. Let's fucking go. I'm ready. That's and you've got you can tell me this is my offer, right? This is what I'm selling. This is the brand I'm envisioning for 2026. This is you know what I mean? You've got to have a baseline for this to work, because the first couple of years in business, they just function completely differently than they do when you start the scale, maintain, growth, pivot, rebrand cycle. That's a completely different level of business. And most people don't ever talk about the differences in those. They're just trying to sell everything to everybody. And there are very fine, micro, nuanced differences in every single year that I have been in business. And I have seen this happen with my clients. I've seen this happen with so many different people, like the mechanics of the year that you're having in business. And then a lot of those years repeat, right? The mechanics of those years are so different, but on a very micro nuanced level. And this is one of my favorite places to like nerd shine. So anyways, hi, welcome to the party. Yeah, I was just talking with Michael when we started this, and this is kind of really it was like a little catch up, and chat today. But, I feel like everybody's just really afraid of being too much right now, right? And I'm going to be honest, if you're over here like, oh no, I can't possibly do anything until January 10th, I've checked out for the rest of the year. The annual planning party is not for you. I hope you have a good year next year, but you ain't going to be hitting the ground running, honey, okay? So don't be surprised when that doesn't happen, right? I do not check out at this time of the year. If you do, I support you. Go work with a coach who also does. You guys are going to be great together. It's not going to be in resonance for you to be over here with me, though, because we actually tap into the energetic power of the calendar year, and then we harness that to get traction in our actual bank account and business and what we're building and all of those things, right? And I've realized that there is this massive issue running rampant right now where everyone's terrified of being too much. And I'm gonna break the cycle for all of us. I absolutely am too much. I already am too much. You know what I mean? But if it's too much for you, I'm going to need you to go find less. I'm not going to keep breaking myself off into little pieces. That's why I put a standard and a boundary, very Pisces North Node, I know, on who the annual planning party was for. I've never done that with a program before. And I used to do that, in the pro witch days, I did that 24/7. I always had standards and boundaries and all of those things. And it's like, I had to go into the chaos fields for the last year so that I could get an assessment of what was really running around, what was really the problem out there, right? And honeys, I got the codes. But I've had enough of that, and I'm going back to doing things the way that I do them. And that's just how it is. I happen to be really fucking good at my job. Thank you. So, yeah, Michael was asking me, he's working on putting out a lo-fi album of all of the lo-fi music he's created so far. You got to go stream it. Ascended Frequencies. Thank you. But then he was like, do you think I should put out some EPs too? Right. And I don't know where this restraint in business came from, but I fucking hate it. And if this is New Earth, honey, I'm going right back to the, y'all can have New Earth. I don't want it. I'll go back to the old one. I like it there better. Okay. Because everybody just did everything back in the olden days of 2017. We were just scorching earth with all of it. It was like, do it all, flood the market, scorch earth, flood the market. It was all of it, right? We were doing just everything. The limit did not exist. There was no limit. If you got an idea, you went and did it. And that's how people made money. And this is why nobody making any money, because everybody's over here like, focus on your one offer. And then when that's working, then go launch a live event or speak on a stage or do this or whatever, right? Instead of just balls to the wall out there making money. That's the point of a fucking business. The point of a business is to make money. I feel like I have lost my fucking mind that I even have to say this to people. But the point of a business is to make money, okay? Please, you guys. There is nothing wrong with making money as a business. That's the whole fucking goal. Okay, and I'm so fucking sick of these people who are like, I would never want a 6-figure business. Okay, that means you don't want a business. You want a job. Go get one. Go fucking get one. Go get a fucking job. Go get one. Okay, I'm going to be honest, because you can't even, trying to even like 6 figures is not what it was 7 years ago, you guys, okay? And then you have the cost of running business, right? You have all the things that come with that, okay? So... And I'm not going to get into what the costs are, because that's not my job. That's not what I do. We have people for that, right? But there are, and it's whatever your costs are, right? I had way more costs, honestly. Like, we have an extremely low overhead business now, compared to the, $450 candle budget every 3 weeks that was the norm when I was a professional witch. Hey, baby. I know I was yelling. Yeah. I love you. I love you. We're a lovey baby today. Kissy, kissy. Mira needs all the hugs. Hi, baby. I love you. She's like, okay. So, yeah, that's just kind of the thing is like everybody's so terrified of being too much, having too much. Is this too much? I want to go be more. I want more. I'm fucking sick of this shit, okay? This is the fucking plague that is wreaking havoc on the world right now in 2025 into 2026. It is this fear of being too much, of doing too much, of wanting too much, of having too much. Fucking quit. Or go back to the Matrix. Gonna be honest. I've had it, and I'm speaking my truth. The throat chakra hath been freed. Thank you. Michael's been casting hella magic for me, and let me tell you, oh, he's really good at it. I've had it. You know what I mean? Like 6 figures is the fucking minimum. And if that's not your vibe, go ahead and hit pause. Go find something else to listen to. Never listen to my work again, and certainly don't buy anything. Don't come into my spaces. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't follow me on social media. Goodbye. Best wishes. I hope you're super successful doing whatever it is you want to do far over there. Okay? The manifestor repelling aura has returned, and I fucking had it. Get out of my bubble. Okay? The minimum to feel safe, stable, and secure in this modern day and age monetarily is 6 figures a year. And if it's not for you, I'm going to be honest, you're deluding yourself. Okay? Right? And what I mean by that is you have the ability, you're not fucking afraid of shit, right? You blow a tire, you're getting the best. You're just replacing it. You need a new car, you're getting it. You need this, you're getting it, right? You can barely do that for 6 figures a year. Like, 6 figures is not rich people shit anymore. You know what I mean? It's not 1982.
Fun
Okay.
fact, literally, I was watching, I ended up just like, I was touching Instagram today, just to see like there was any updates, any notifications or anything. And one of the first things that like it's become more popular is that Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, he literally has been redoing a lot of stuff, of course, because everybody loves Home Alone, or a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. The point is that literally they actually showed the differences between like 1990 or like one of those early years of the 90s of him going to the grocery store in the movie where he literally did that, and they showed the receipt of it was like $17-18 for like 4 bags of like full groceries, and then it shows in the scene later on his way home the whole bags just completely bust open, and I mean they were super packed. $17-18 for like 4 big bags of groceries that he's walking home carrying.
Yeah, it's now, like $100 now minimum.
Today it was like 174 or something.
Yeah,
it was like quadruple.
Yeah,
like
you know, like it's not it's not the 1990s anymore. You know, the nostalgia needs to take a fucking break when it comes to people actually figuring out why they're feeling so under-resourced, why they're not feeling abundant, why they're not feeling safe, why they're not feeling stable, why they're not feeling secure. It's because everything has inflated except for the amount that we will let ourselves fucking make. Right? And that goes for every, you know, you could be sitting here making multi-6 figures and feel the exact same way. You could be sitting here making 7 figures and feel the exact same way, right? Numbers are just numbers, gonna be honest. It's really about how the individual is feeling and what they need to sustain the cost of the quality of life to which they have become accustomed and to which they may desire to become accustomed, right? So many people are living in this extreme state of lack and just getting by and calling it life. And I don't think that that's the way we're supposed to be living. So, you know, if you do, best wishes, just go away now. Okay, now that they're gone. Like, I mean, I'm going to be like 6 figures a year is the minimum. To not fall into those fear cycles, to not fall into those traps and things. And for some people, that's already multi-6 figures, like I said, to 7. And pretending otherwise is just harming people at this point. I'm going to be honest. It's really just harming people. You know, so it's like, that's the thing is, instead of letting ourselves, you know, I used to get an idea. I would channel the entire thing. I would usually have the content planned. I'd have the marketing strategy done, and I'd be ready to start going within 24 hours. Now, I'm a manifestor in human design, so I know that not everybody goes like quite, I go really hard and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm done with this plan. And then I just go on to the next thing, right? This is how I get so much done. People massively underestimate manifestors and misunderstand manifestors in human design. We don't do one little thing and then we have to just rest for like ever. No, we do something. We do it really quickly. We know exactly what we're fucking doing, especially splenic manifestors, because that's what I'm a splenic manifestor. And then we just move right the fuck along. And then we just do the next part. And then we just do and then we just kind of boom, boom, boom. And then we're done with that. And then we start the cycle over again. It's not, and I slept till 12:30 today. slept till afternoon today. I was really tired, but that's exactly what I did with the annual planning party. Because I only haven't done this for. I think I didn't do it in 2022. It was only 2022 that I didn't do it. And 2023 was like my worst year ever. The 1 year I didn't do it, it was like. It was not a good year, y'all. It was not a good. Michael was paying for everything. So it was not my most abundant year. I don't recommend skipping your annual planning party process, even if you don't do mine. Like, do something, people, okay? And we're going to have a lot of content coming on the podcast and stuff. So even if you're not, if you're not coming into the annual planning party with me and Michael, you'll be able to kind of you're not going to get all the tea, just so you know. But we're going to have some little things that you can definitely take some inspiration from, and we're going to have we'll have some free content, guiding you in that, little micro doses of planning if you're not either in the just developmental or financial spaces to actually come into the annual planning party. And like I said, we have some lower priced bundles coming for different stages, and just to kind of make the magic accessible to a large variety of people, because every single person with a business or a brand, every artist, every musician, you should have an annual planning process, and it should be a party. And we make it a party. Like every year, my assistant would come in. We would sit down with a calendar, a notebook. We would order Greek food. We would make literally cocktails. She would go to, I think one year she went to Deep Ellum Cider. It was like Deep Ellum Brewing, or I can't remember what the actual name of the brewery was, but there's this brewery in Deep Ellum they made the cider that we all liked. And she went and got some of that one year. So we were literally having a party. Like, we're eating Greek food. I would order $100 of Greek food, and we'd be sitting there eating whipped feta and contemplating, our launch events for the next year. Total fucking luxury witch vibes, as we're sitting in my office with incense burning and the lights are aesthetic and the Christmas tree's up and, the cats are meowing and there's probably some music playing, and she'd be in her fluffy black furry comfy chair that I bought her, and we'd be vibing. It was really fun. And so it's designed to be a party, and this is designed to be coming in to a party with tons of other people who are also in business, that we're all doing the planning together. And it's an annual event, because I do this every year, right? I do this every single year. This is my favorite part of the year. I'm yes, I can be mostly horizontal if I want or need to. That's one of the beauties of building your own business, when you literally get a debilitating physical condition when you're 9 years old. You grow up with a completely different perspective of reality than people who I couldn't go to recess for 3 years. I couldn't run for years. I had to train to even run a mile. The concept of running a marathon has never been available to me because of my heart condition. It doesn't exist in my brain. I can't do this stuff. My brothers can go on a hike with my dad, and I can't go on a hike. If you've ever seen a video of me, or if you ever meet me in person, I don't stand still. I sway. I cannot stand still because the blood pools in my legs and my heart has to work too hard to pump it back up. And then I will literally pass out. So I trained myself when I was 9 years old to move constantly. And I'm constantly moving energy, and I'm sure there's, energetic reasons behind what I'm doing as well. but you just kind of have a different perspective of reality. And so one of the cool things is like, we're going to be, it's when you build your own business, you can allow for things like, I was like, well, I need to do my annual planning. And I was like, I don't feel very good. And I was like, but I feel fine if I'm horizontal. If I'm laying down flat, I feel fine. And then I'm sitting up right now. I feel better today. But that's kind of the beauty of, building your own things, is that you aren't confined to having to sit in an office or at a cubicle or, at a desk when you don't feel like it. I can record all of the content for the annual planning party laying down. I can literally be in bed delivering amazing work that is going to completely elevate and transform people's businesses, brands, and, financial realities next year, right? So that's pretty fucking cool. And that's one of the, great perks of being the boss witch, right? You get to, align things. I was like, I don't have to, your annual planning doesn't stop just because you don't feel good. You know what I mean? And I could choose to just let myself be like, oh, well, I'm just not going to bother with it, whatever, right? And I'm like, fuck that. I don't have a bathtub right now. This apartment ain't got no bathtub. Okay, like, I want a different reality, and I'm tired of othering that different reality, right? I'm tired of waiting for it. I feel like everybody's waiting for the conditions to be perfect. They're waiting to feel good. They're waiting for their kids to be a certain age. They're waiting to have a certain amount of time. They're waiting to be healed. They're waiting to be this. They're waiting to be that, right? And then they can do the things that they want to do and have the things that they want to have. And I'm like, fuck this. I got a plan next year no matter what, because the only year I didn't, I didn't make no dollar bills. I ain't doing it again. I am not falling for this shit again. No. Right? So it's like, well, why not? Why not just go ahead and do it if I can, And that's kind of the most important lesson I'd like to impart today, is like, if you have an idea for something, even if it seems redundant, even if it seems like, what's the point? Even if it seems like whatever, how could you just let yourself go ahead and be all of you that you are, instead of trying to force yourself down into a smaller box of who the world has tried to make you be? I can't repeat that. That was poetic. It just rolled off the tongue, but that was great.
That's why I looked at the time.
That was fabulous. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just afraid of being too much. It's so funny, too, because in 2017, I got I am enough tattooed on my arm in Greek, because I had such bad self-confidence issues that I didn't feel like I was enough to be successful. And now I feel like I'm too much to be successful. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. That just means this is how much more successful I'm going to be. This is how much more abundant I'm going to be. This is how many more fucking amazing clients I'm going to have. This is how much better my life's going to be this time, right? It's so funny too, because right before I started Harvest Rose, I had a POTS flare. And so it's really, I was literally like, I would get like, I would be so exhausted, and I would sit up for maybe an hour working on, the products that I was creating to launch the store. Harvest Rose started as a small witchy Etsy shop in 2016. And, it's so funny, because it's like, I feel like it's very much like when I'm on the precipice of what I refer to as a big phoenixing, when I am about to like come out with some new shit. It's like I have a POTS flare. It's like the craziest thing. It's like, literally, it's like my vessel is like, I'm going to malfunction for a little bit and make you rest. Maybe I'm phoenixing somewhere else. You know what I mean? Maybe my phoenix form is actually phoenixing every time I have a POTS flare. That's my theory, is that the multidimensional version of me that's actually a phoenix is actually like catching fire and then rebirthing, like on a big scale. And that's why I have to rest so much and drink chicken broth. It's the closest thing we can get to phoenix DNA on this planet. That's my headcanon event about myself. Okay. Thank you, Coven of One technology. That's how I tuned into that. So anyways, just fun things. But I just think, I think the first part of everyone's annual planning party, that's all we're going to be talking about for the next 6 weeks, by the way. It's going to be a bunch of chaos and annual planning party stuff. So like I said, even if you choose that you're not in the space for whatever reason to come into the annual planning party when we launch it this Friday, that's fine. You're going to be getting some little microdoses here, and we're going to be having some fun stuff, and it's going to be really nifty. But if you are already like, yeah, sign me up, you can just send me a DM on Instagram and ask for the link, and I'll send it to you. But then we're officially going to launch it on Friday. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
For context, just so you know, general admission is going to be $11.11 and VIP is $22.22. So it's not a beginner's necessarily investment, right? It's not designed to be. It's designed to be for someone who is looking to make a 4-figure investment before the end of the year, so that next year they have a massively like different concept of reality. And they want a space to do that, right? And so I very much designed it for, I looked back at past versions of myself and I was like, okay, me that was going into the chaos fields and up would have been perfect for this. And so that's who I've designed it for, is if you can be going into the chaos fields of, doing all the things and trying all the things and all of that. We still want to plan it so that you have the amplification of everything that you want. So it's designed for, the person entering the chaos fields for the first time, maybe the person re-entering the chaos fields. Maybe you've already done lots and lots and lots of things and you're me this past year and you're like, all right, time to go figure out what I want to do this time again, right? That happens over and over in business. To, scale years, grow and maintain years, bigger and better years, pivot years. Like I said, 2020 was a pivot year for us. I had planned to do travel witching, which was going to add a minimum of $185,000 a year to the business revenue. And we did none of that. And I pivoted into, that's when I did all my chakra work instead. So, sometimes pivot years, and that ended up being, I think that one was a 50,000 increase too. So that was pretty cool. So even, pivot years can be big increases too, and at 50,000 was the kind of maximum with the way that the business was set up for me and what I was doing, my own wealth ceilings, and the fact that, all of that was one-to-one, psychic sessions and spell work. You know what I mean? So talking about, if you, now, with the business architecture that I have designed, it's every iteration of it's 7 figures once it's up and rolling and scaling and growing and everything. So it's a different playing field when you're doing one-to-one services versus infinitely scalable more subscription model based things. But neither is good or bad or right or wrong or anything. It's just what you happen to be doing at this moment in time, and building a plan that allows you to support yourself through the next year so that you achieve the things that you want to achieve and you do the things that you want to do and you see the growth that you want to see, whatever that is for you. Like I always say, it's just numbers. Bless you. So anyways, on that note, go out, be more. If you get an idea, just let yourself go do it. Right? I'm literally the queen of trying something. I'm the queen of fuck around, find out, right? Like I will try something and then I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I'll try something else. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Right? But let yourself go out and try stuff. You are going to regret 100% of the things you don't let yourself just go fuck around and find out and try and do, right? And so it's like so much of the time, like people are feeling like, oh, they can only launch a handful of times a year. They can only make sales a handful of times a year. They get on these hamster wheels. They don't let themselves do all of the different things that they want to do. They don't let themselves talk about all of the different things that they want to talk about. I've got a multitude of things I want to talk about, and I really don't like feeling limited in what I can what I can speak about, right? Like having to limit myself to only talking about business or only talking about this or only talking, like, I just hate it. I get bored, right? Well, like every time I try to only be an artist, I'm so bored. I can't even do it. I'm like, no, like, cause that's not me, you know? And when you're about to hit 10 years in your business and your brand, I think you're a geriatric entrepreneur by that point, and you're like crotchety, right? I'm like, no, I will not only be the witch version of me, or only be the entrepreneur version of me, or only be the artist version of me, or only be this, or only be that to fit in with people's narrow-minded fantasies of who I am. I will be all of me. And if that's too much for you, you can go choke, right? I've just had it. I've just had it.
That's valid.
You know? So anyways, just go out and let yourself be all that you want to be. If you want to release singles and EPs and albums and all the things, do it. If you want to do all the things, do it. Do it. Just let yourself do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be successful. And a big fear of success has been programmed into the population en masse. Right? Even people who didn't used to have a fear of success are now like, oh my God, are all my friends going to hate me if I get too successful, if I make too much money? Those ain't your friends.
No.
Those are not your friends. If you're thinking that about people, they're not your friends. Ditch them right now.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first thing on your 2026 annual planning party. Ditch everyone who makes me feel like I have to be a lesser version of myself. Item number 1. Go make a list of everyone in your life who makes you feel like that. Ditch them. You're worth more than that. You're not worth being stuck in this tiny little box. It's so much better to just be who you really are, right? So let's go do it. Okay, I'm tired of talking now, so we're gonna say goodbye for this episode. We will be back very soon with more multidimensional baddie fabulosity. I hope you have a fabulous day. Go out and be all that you are. Stop breaking yourself up into little pieces for other people. Let them choke. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.